She's participating in the protests for Iran in Canada. So listen to her message.
Your screen is on mute.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to manage a little thing. I apologize. Here's again.
I heard that they're like raping the woman. I don't have any information from them. I'm very worried about my friends. I really love them and I don't know what should I do about it. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there anything else that you want Canadians to know?
We love Canada, like, honestly. And I really appreciate the Canadians who respect Persian and Persian respect Canada. I appreciate your love, everything you do. I hope you're going to be free one day.
Okay, thank you so much.
Your time. Thank you so much.
Sorry. I heard that they're like raping the woman.
Sorry, just wanted to share that. And I have some videos from people participating in. By the way, guys, this was a very important message because you see how grateful she was for Canadians supporting Iran. I think we need other Iranians to do the same thing. Okay, you need to send that message out there. I have an audio message that I just received from inside Iran. Let me just play that, but I'm going to play it on a different screen just for safety reasons.
Okay.
سلام آرمین جان، من شکوفه هستم از کرج. قبلا برات ویدیو فرستادم. امروز
So this is from Karaj. She's saying I'm one of the people who sent you videos from inside Iran before. She's saying hi Armin. Yeah, she just got connected to the internet.
اینترنت وصل شد. خواستم بگم که خیلی شاید شرایط داخل ایران بد باشه. خیلی‌ها کشته شدن.
So she's saying the internet just got connected today. The situation in Iran is horrific. So many people died.
ولی همچنان مردم خواهان اومدن شاهزاده هستن.
She's saying, however, people still want the prince to come back, Prince Reza Pahlavi to come back. She's saying people are still determined.
خواستم بهت بگم که سکوت ما دلیل بر این نیست که مردم جا زدن. نه.
So she's saying that don't think that our silence right now means that we have stopped.
فقط منتظرن موقعیت مناسب پیش بیاد دوباره بیان بیرون.
The people are just waiting for the right conditions to then come back again. Come outside again. Yeah, so that was that. I have some videos from some of the people participating in protests. Before I go to videos from Iran, because Goldie was sharing all the protests that people could go to, I just have, I think, 3 videos from some of the first initial videos from people participating. This is in Oslo. So they're saying King Reza Pahlavi. Yeah. So this is very good, by the way, guys. Look, we said on the show, so make some of your chants English, so people could get see King Reza Pahlavi, regime change for Iran. These are English chants. This is going to be so much more effective to send out your message to the world. All right, let me go. I have some. So this was in Milan. Good job. People showed up in Milan. So they're chanting death to Khamenei, curse be upon Khomeini. So I think I have one more video, and I'm sure, guys, we're gonna get more videos of the protests. Oh. Wait, where was this? This is in Milan as well. I got a video from Dusseldorf. This was Sohail recorded this himself. So chanting that this is the final battle, Pahlavi will return. Okay, so now I want to show you this video. Somebody in Iran wrote on the wall, so see, guys, there people are still being nice and polite, saying, President Trump, please help. Please help. A message to Trump from inside Iran. Okay. Let me go to some videos that came from Iran. This is from January 8th, but is recent, as in we only recently received it. So this was the regime forces directly shooting at the people. So look, the regime forces are shooting, but the guys are swearing back. Guys, you see the green laser lights? That's the commander pointing to the snipers that they have where to shoot. So every time you see these green laser lights, there's a commander of the armed forces. They have some people on the ground, but they also have some snipers on the roofs or some other places. And whenever they identify somebody as the leader from the protesters, they point at them for the sniper to take them out. So the guy is saying this is the front line. So you can see the people are taking cover. The armed forces were on the other side, and these are the people who are taking cover. All right, so I have some disturbing videos. Is it okay if I show those, Goldie, right now?
What do you mean by disturbing?
Disturbing, like it's not gruesome, but it's like heartbreaking.
Okay, sure. And then we'll go to some other things. Sure.
Okay, I'll try to go through all my videos fast. Okay.
No, you don't have to go through it fast. It's just we also, we're almost at the finish line. So I just don't want people to think that because we're sharing these videos that Iranians have given up, because that's the farthest thing from the truth, right? So
no, we're still fighting. That's why I've shared that audio message that I got directly. That she said that the situation is horrible, but we're not giving up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So warning, guys, disturbing content. So this is a woman who was shot. People had just realized that she was shot with a bullet.
Can we play this on YouTube and not get like banned or something? Can we play this without getting demonetized?
I
Well, I guess
don't. I mean, she just got shut.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it is what it is. Just play it then.
So she's saying, close the wound with something. Close the wound with something. Okay, so then there's this one. So they're just carrying a body with somebody. So the people are trying to carry somebody. They're saying, go, go, go, go. Okay, so then we have, okay, some not we're done with the disturbing ones. This one was from January 8th. Somebody with the lion and sun flag inside Iran, and this was in Tehran.
Javicha! Javicha! Javicha! Javicha!
Javicha, long live the king.
Javicha! Javicha! Javicha! Javicha! Javicha!
All right, so there was a video from January 9th that we just received in Karaj that people were asking Trump to come help. This was on January 9th.
Mr. Trump, we need your help now!
So from inside Iran, January 9th, he was saying, Mr. Trump, we need your help now. So guys, you remember this girl 26-year-old girl who was shot dead, murdered by the Islamic Republic? You remember her? I showed this. Her name is Sanam Babai. So these are some pictures of her. So apparently, they wouldn't give her body to their family until Sunday. Yeah, and they had some strict conditions for her to hand over the body. She was a violin teacher. So the reason I show you this is because for her burial, people were playing her favorite song. So this was on top of her burial ground. So people showed up on top of her burial ground and they were playing her favorite song. All right, so let me go to the next one. This one was on January 10th. And the reason why I'm showing you this, because this was a time where the regime forces were running away from the people. No, nobody's faces are being shown. Somebody was concerned about some people's faces being shown, but you can see there's no faces in this video, right? And then we have one here. Let me see this one. So میدون جنگ حمله بیاین به جلو. So this is another video that we just got. All right, so let me just, because I don't want, I'm gonna make sure we get to Goldie's videos. I'm just gonna go through.
No, that's fine. You take your time.
Okay.
Take your time.
Okay. So he's saying the regime forces are basically trapped between people. Like they're running away. Saying Hamlet, so the people are saying attack. You know, they're with no weapons. They're saying attack. They're attacking the armed forces without no weapons, and he's like, so, you know, courageously saying attack, and they're marching towards people with weapons without any weapons themselves. So we got a message from inside Iran to on Atheist Republic's Persian Instagram account. Sarah manages our Instagram account, so we got a message there saying بانو سارا درود نت کند هستش با آرمین جان بگید خیلی از جان باختگان رو به خانواده‌شون تحویل نمیدن احتمالاً قراره بعد از okay, so she this lady messaged Sarah, which is our admin on our Persian Instagram account. She's saying that the internet is bad. However, she wanted to make sure that she sends this message to Sarah saying that they're not handing over so many of the bodies, and they probably want to be using it for the United States when the United States attacks the Islamic Republic. They probably want to use a lot of these bodies to say they died under American attack. So they're holding on to a lot of bodies to basically maybe say to demonstrate to make it seem like America has killed a lot of civilians. So that's why they're holding on to so many of the bodies. Right?
Oh my gosh, what sick evil people. Armin, you have to like post something about that so that I can like retweet it, and we need to get the news out. We need to like let people know about this.
Oh, okay. Let me just do that then.
Well, I mean, like at some point, right? But
okay. Yeah, you're right. Actually, thank you.
We need to put this message out there ASAP.
Okay.
So that
actually, you know, you're so right. How about I just go try to tweet that right now while you show some other things right now, so that I get this at ASAP, huh?
Yeah. Okay. You go ahead and do that, because then once you put it out there, I'll just take your message and then I'll share it on my social media as well. Yeah. Like everyone needs to know about this. This is that's probably why they're holding on to all of the bodies. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Let's go to. Okay. I want to play this video, but I also need like a 30-second break. I'm going to play this video and I'll be right back.
A man who certainly has a few thoughts on the situation. All right, joining us now is a man who certainly has a few thoughts on the situation in Iran. We call him the Great One, the host of Life, Liberty, Levin, right here on the Fox News channel. Help is on the way, now in Armada. I think it's pretty clear that the president is standing in solidarity with those protesters, and he's not going to put up with these ayatollahs that are murdering and slaughtering innocent people.
No, I agree with you, Sean. In fact, I just read it's about 43,000 who've been murdered. I don't think we know the exact number because it is a concentration camp and the lights are off and the communication's off. But we do see video online of the horrendous things that are being done, especially to young women. It is open season. It's like hunting animals in there. It's grotesque. And I would just say this to, what does he call himself, the supreme leader? You're not going to be so supreme soon. You know, those aircraft carriers and those destroyers and those B-2 bombers and those F-35s and those F-18s, they're coming for you because you are the regime. And if you're taken out, that regime will fall. Everybody knows it. You've got the blood of thousands, tens of thousands on your hand. Your family does, your regime does. And for what? You're starving your people. They're economically impoverished. You're spreading terrorism. You're trying to build nukes to reach us. You just fired a 10,000-mile missile into Siberia with Putin's approval so he can hit Washington or New York or the East Coast of the United States. President Trump knows what you are. He's on to you. He knows you're a lunatic and a maniac. And I think we're sending the United States Armed Forces to send you back to the 7th century where you belong. You're a barbarian and you're primitive. And as far as the American people are concerned, you're a cancer on the body politic of the whole nation and the whole world. These young people, I urge my fellow Americans to go online and look what they're doing to these young people, to these girls. Look how they're slaughtering them left and right for doing what? Most of them were just walking in the street. That's it. They have snipers, tough guys, you know, tough guys shooting women in the street, shooting children in the street. 15-year-old soccer players and so forth and so on. This is hell on earth. And I understand there are countries like Qatar and Saudi Arabia and the others are saying, you know, you may not want to go after him. You may not want to do this. You may not want to do that. Since when do we take advice from Qatar, a nation of 300,000 people that backs the Muslim Brotherhood, that backs every terrorist organization on the face of the earth? Oh, I know, they've reformed. And since when do we take advice from Saudi Arabia that was behind 9/11? How about they take advice from us? We're the most powerful nation on the face of the earth for a reason. How about they start paying attention to what we have to say and what we have to do? The fact of the matter is Iran is a threat not only to its people that it slaughters, but to us in the United States. We cannot allow a 7th century primitive barbarian regime to get nuclear weapons with a 10,000-mile ICBM that can hit the United States. Can you imagine? And by the way, it's their foreign minister who said, you can take out our sites, but you can't take out our knowledge. What he means by that is we're not going to stop. And what I mean by that is our great president isn't going to be president forever. There'll be another president one day. And just remember, every president prior to Donald Trump refused to do anything. It's only Donald Trump that did something about it. So I'm worried. I'm worried when he leaves office in 3 years. I'm worried who the next president's going to be, Republican or Democrat, if they're going to have the ability to do something about it. And what? If this regime survives this, it's going to think it can survive anything. The communist Chinese are already moving as many ballistic missiles to them as possible. And they're going to say, we're indestructible. Nobody's going to stop us. Yes, but you are going to be stopped. It's just a matter of time. Do I know for sure? Well, I don't know all the details and all the possibilities, but I feel Donald Trump. Do I have inside information? No. I don't need inside information. Just listen to what the man says. If I'm Khomeini, I think I'd take the fastest boat or jet to Moscow now. Otherwise, we're coming to get you.
That's why we call you the Great One, Mark Levin. We'll be watching this weekend, Life, Liberty, and Levin, right here on the Fox News channel.
Wow, isn't he fantastic? Very, very fantastic.
Sure.
Okay, let me go to, I just want to play this for you guys. So this is so the live stream from Sweden finished, but I just want to show you guys, like, this is like the angle here where they show people, like, this was the Iran demonstration in Sweden. Just look at this. Look at the massive crowd. But also, guys, pay attention to the police officers. You see that, like, the police are pretty chill, right? Like, the police are mostly there for, like, you know, crowd control, right? Like traffic control. And also to keep an eye on the Iranians, because Iranians are peaceful. And the police are basically there to make sure that, like, you know, the savage jihadis don't attack the peaceful Iranians. But just watch this and then, you know, compare this to like all of the, you know, jihadi pro-Palestine demonstrations there, right? Just watch this and look at the size here.
Let's
Goldie, I posted the tweet if you need
Yeah,
that.
I'm posting it now.
Ja, detta är utan tvekan den största iranska demonstrationen som har varit i Stockholm. Det är...
There you go. So that was the massive. Oh, my interview with Ayala on Count 11 just aired. Oh, thank you. Yeah, guys, I did a media interview this morning, and it was really great. I really enjoyed that. So, okay, if you have, I'll see if I can find the link, and I'm more than happy to share my interview there. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the kind words. Yeah, I was on Can 11 this morning. I was on Can 11 this morning.
Can we see it?
I don't know. It just aired. I don't know if it's available online yet. Oh, wait. King Reza Pahlavi was on Forbes. Let me pull that up. It just popped up on my YouTube. He was just on Forbes. Let me pull that up. Where is it? Oh no, it's just the CNN interview from last night. Never mind. That's already the one that we saw here. Okay. But okay, so guys, so there's the rally in Sweden. As you can tell, the rally in Sweden is very big, but also very, very peaceful. There's also, guys, if you didn't know, there's a demonstration happening in Turkey as well.
Mecracılığa ve İran halkının refahıyla hiçbir ilgisi olmayan projelere harcadı. Ve bugün insanlar itiraz için, yaşamak için, devrim için ayağa kalktığında İslam Cumhuriyeti'nin cevabı yalnızca baskı oldu. Binlerce yurttaşımızın toprağa düştüğü yabancı bir düşmanla savaşladı.
Guys, if anyone has any live streams, if you know of any live streams for like demonstrations that are happening right now, let us know. I actually have no idea if this is safe to do in Turkey or not. But there you go. So this is apparently a live stream from Turkey, which is going on right now. I think the whole thing has pretty much just been like zoom in, so it's like a big crowd. Let me see. Big crowd, but it's just like, here we go. I wonder if like, there you go. So this is ongoing in Turkey right now. Oh, look. They've got like a picture of Reza Shah the Great, and I think that's Ataturk. So there you go. That's Turkey right now. If you guys know of any other demonstrations, let us know. Armin, can you take over for a little bit, because I'm gonna take I want to make sure that the tweet you put out, I want to put it on my other social media networks as well. So
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just let you, because I think you have like some videos or something that you maybe want to share.
I do.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so let me just remove this. Okay, so let me go with this priority. Let's remove this one and add this one. All right, so first of all, guys, we need to be putting pressure on European countries because they still have their Islamic Republic embassies open, which is why. Like, what do we, the fact that, let me actually first watch this video before we make the point. So she's saying salutations to Iranians, both inside Iran and outside of Iran. So she's saying that we Iranians in Netherlands. So we have been in front of the foreign ministry of Netherlands for 9 days. So 24 hours. They're basically sitting in front of basically the foreign policy embassy of Netherlands. And their goal is to shut down the Islamic Republic embassy in Netherlands. And to basically kick out all of the Islamic Republic politicians and diplomats from Netherlands. So I just wanted to, so she's doing that. I just wanted to encourage more Iranians in, different countries to do this, because it's absolutely shameful that European countries still have relationship with the Islamic Republic. The European countries have still not done the minimum of shutting down the Islamic Republic embassies, which means that they're still hoping that they're still thinking that there's a chance for relationship with the Islamic Republic. This is shameful, and there needs to be a lot more pressure on them to shut them down, all of them, right? There's regarding the I saw a video by Princess of Pahlavi regarding democracy, which I think we should be playing because I think he was so on point with this one.
So we as Iranians are guaranteed in the future to have self-determination, to have freedom. But as to the measure of what will determine the future, there's nothing other than the ballot box that ultimately will decide it. So I wonder if these critics are just as committed to democracy as I am. Because if they are believing in democracy, then they shouldn't fear the ballot box. My question to them is, do you fear the result of the ballot box? I don't.
This is a very important point, because a lot of people who are anti-Pahlavi or against this revolution because it's a Pahlavi revolution. The whole point of this revolution is get to Iran to a point where Iran can decide. The fact that they are against this shows that they know what the Iranian people decide. Princess of Pahlavi is not fighting for Princess of Pahlavi. Princess of Pahlavi is fighting for Iranian people being able to make that decision themselves. So the fact that he's not afraid of letting Iranian people make that decision, but everybody who's against them is afraid of that, shows that they know what the Iranian people are going to decide. I went on I-24 News. I had a very short 3-minute segment on I-24 News. I just want to play that for you guys. Let me know. A lot of you told me that I need to be looking at camera more when I go on different news segments. So I try to do that. Let me know if I did better this time. I don't know. I don't think I did really good here because I've never done a 3-minute segment, and I was really trying to rush in to get as many points in as possible. But I'm trying to get better. Okay, so this was me on I-24 News. Let me know how it is.
נעבור לדבר על איראן, שירדה מהכותרות קצת, ואולי חבל, לנוכח ניסיונות המחאה שם במשטר והעזרה שהציע הנשיא טראמפ. אתמול שוחחתי עם ארמין נאווי, איראני פרו-ישראלי, פעיל שמתנגד למשטר במדינתו. הנה הרעיון.
Hi, Cyril.
Armin, from what you know, has the Iranian regime succeeded in suppressing the protests?
Not at all. The Islamic Republic is very, very scared, and that's why they are this violent right now. This is the greatest massacre in our history, and everything I'm hearing from inside Iran, the Iranian people are ready. They're all united, and all the information that I'm getting from my contact and everyone else, that they're all waiting for their next command from their leader, Princess of Pahlavi, to go back into the streets stronger than ever before.
But would you say that Trump missed the momentum?
So the Iranian people are going to succeed in this revolution one way or another, even if whether somebody helps them or not. But the help that we need from United States and Israel is to reduce the cost, because this is the cost is very, very high. And I understand that the reason why it's taking longer is hopefully to do something more significant to make sure that the regime falls. But again, we need to understand. Everybody needs to understand that the Iranian people are not asking for charity. They're asking for help just to reduce the cost, and this is going to be mutually beneficial for everybody, because the Islamic Republic is a threat to the whole world, not just to the Iranian people. So that's why this is a mutual beneficial for everybody.
Do you think that Trump is maybe creating a diversion, and that he will finally punish the mullahs?
Yeah, nothing is for certain, but based on what we have seen from Trump during the 12-day war and also in Venezuela, it seems like that seems to be a pattern. So that pattern might continue, but all signs show that something is about to happen, and Iranian people inside Iran are expecting something to happen. The Iranian people have proven themselves. They have proven that they are waiting, that they have been fighting, they have been giving it all they got. They have impressed their entire world with their bravery. So now the Iranian people don't have anything else to prove. It's the world now that needs to prove itself to the Iranian people, because the Iranian people, their fight is a fight that they're paying the price for removing an evil that the entire world needs to get rid of.
I mean, tell us about what is the feeling of the Iranian streets towards Israel?
So the Iranian people have an ancient bond with the people of Israel, and they are now many people. The main reason why people showed up into the streets in Iran was because of the command of their leader, Princess of Pahlavi. But it was also partly because of the promises made by Benjamin Netanyahu that he will be there when the Iranian people participate into go and start the revolution. Right before the internet was being cut, I got directly people from inside my network were sending me videos from inside Iran saying "I'm Israel Chai" in the streets of Iran while protesting, and also saying thank you Netanyahu, and expecting Netanyahu to come and help them any moment. But we have the same values, we share ancient ties, we have the same enemy, and our bond is very stronger. And once this regime falls, we're going to be
so much.
We are natural allies. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Armin Nawarbi. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you.
So I thought that was great. I thought that was great. You were looking at the camera instead of like the screen, which is because listen, I know it's weird to look at the camera because you want to look at the screen because you want to like look at what's going on, right? Like you want to look at yourself or the other person. So it's strange to look at the camera, but I thought that was excellent. You did well.
Yeah, I just had too many because I never done a 3-minute segment. So I was kind of like trying to figure out how to get all my points into 3 minutes. So there were too many there. I need to practice getting better at that. But yeah, usually when it's a 3-hour interview, like a half an hour interview, I'll do better. But never done a 3-minute one. But okay. But thank you, Goldie.
I do a lot of as well, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Do a lot of as well. I've seen someone saying, been watching since day 7, start to lose hope, but how dare I lose faith when it costs me nothing but peace. Guys, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. We are in the end game right now. Iranians aren't losing hope. Iranians are pushing on and they're fighting. Look, let me show a post from an Iranian inside occupied Iran. Let me find it here. I wanted to share this one yesterday, but I actually never got around to it because there was just so much news, right? So much news. But let me pull it up here. Okay. Like this is how brave Iranians are. Look at this. So let me just remove Armin's screen. Okay. So and Iran, so this account is in Iran, okay? And how do we know? Because he's using a filter. And he's connected via iPhone. So if you're on Android, it would say Iran Android app, but there is no like iPhone app store for Iran. So it's just like wherever the phone originated from. So this person posted, I think it was yesterday or the day before, they say, hey you bees, I'm still alive, Javid Shah. So, hey you, I'm still alive. And then Javid Shah means long live the king. And then here he has a photo of his x-ray and there's a bullet that's like lodged into his body. So like
Wow.
Iranians are coming back online slowly, and you know they're literally posting images of their wounds, and they're like, hey, the Islamic regime, we're still alive and we're coming for you. So guys, Iranians haven't given up. They haven't given up. They're still fighting, right? And they're almost like, you know, posting images of their wounds as a way of like, you know, just, you know, saying like, yes, we were there, we were fighting, and we're not stopping, right? So like, here's another one. So as more brave Iranian freedom fighters are slowly gaining internet access, they are posting images of their wounds and sending messages to the terrorist Islamic Republic. So this Iranian says, I didn't want to post this, but here's the other leg of mine that got hit by a live round. And thankfully, we found a doctor and he came to the house. I just wanted to say, even in this condition, I still want the Shah. You can't choke us out, you bees. Okay, so there you go. Very gory, but there you go. So you're not allowed to give up hope. You guys are not allowed to give up hope, because we Iranians, we're not giving up hope. We know that this is the final battle. We know that you know, it's the final push, but we're not going to give up. We're not going to give up, and neither will you guys. So I mean, it is very difficult and it is very hard, but we're not losing hope. We're not losing hope, because Iranians inside, they are expecting us to keep the movement and the fight going. But here's what I'll do for you guys. Since where do we go? We'll just add that there. Okay, Armin, do you have any new videos for us, or do you want to take a quick break? What would you like to do? We've been going for 3 hours right now.
I do wanted to repeat the news that Khamenei reportedly moved to a fortified underground shelter containing a series of tunnels in Tehran after senior security and military officials warned of an increased likelihood of an American strike. This was reported by the Jerusalem Post.
Also, Iran International. So, guys, people are now they're resharing the news, and they're playing this clip here of Khamenei looking up in the sky, all scared, worried about Israeli drones. Look at this. Look how scared he looks. So, in response to the news, in response to the news of Khamenei moving into like a special underground shelter, people are posting this image in response, which is kind of funny. I wonder if I can share this. There we go. All right, I just wanted to add that to the news there. Where's this from? This one just popped up. Oh, it's from Iran International, probably. Why don't we go to?
Did you see Christian Amanpour blaming Princess of Pahlavi and Trump for so many people dying in Iran?
Well, she has blood on her hands, so I'm not surprised. She's always been a traitor. So I find it incredibly disgusting. Okay, did you show this? This is Germany. Have you shown this one? Stuttgart, Germany.
Yes, I think I
Okay,
did.
showed
If
that
it's
one.
Manitoba, yeah.
Okay, and then
But you can show it again.
no,
harm
this
showing it
this
again.
this is Italy. Did you show Italy?
I showed Milan, but not this one.
Okay, so this one is Messina. So this is another city in Italy called Messina.
Wow.
There you go. So there's that. And then, this one is, Malaysia. Oh, look at this. Oh my gosh. Shout out to all of our Malaysian friends. Look at this. And then we have Lithuania. Guys, so when we tell you that the Iranian National Revolution is global, this is what we mean.
No internet, no voices, people die in Iran. No internet, no voices, people die in Iran. No internet, no voices, people die in Iran. No internet, no voices, people die in Iran. We cannot black.
And as you can see, everywhere Iranians go, they take the flag of the country that they're in with them. This is really, really important. همین هر کشوری که هستین تظاهرات میکنین حتما اقلا یکی دو تا پرچم کشور که توش هستین باید داشته باشین. خیلی مهمه. اندیشه. Where's this?
Can I show something?
Yeah,
this
sure,
is
go ahead.
strange. Oh, so really quickly, there was guys, I know United Nations is useless and everything, but we can see the different positions of other countries based on this vote. Okay, so breaking news: United Nations Human Rights Council. The United Nations Human Rights Council has adopted a resolution condemning human rights violations in Iran, passed on Friday, 22 January 2026, with 22 votes in favor, 14 abstentions.
Abstain.
Abstentions, yes, sorry. Abstentions, yes, and 7 votes against. Sorry, guys. The resolution adopted with a specific focus on Iran's national uprising cites the killing of thousands of peaceful protesters, including women and children. Okay, so that's not what I want to read. I want to read which countries are voted yes, which ones abstained, and which ones voted no. So, I mean, let's just look at the no ones, because China is expected. Cuba said no. So China took the side of the Islamic Republic. Cuba took the side of the Islamic Republic. But here's what I don't understand. India. So Indonesia took the side of the Islamic Republic. Iraq took the side of the Islamic Republic. Pakistan took the side of the Islamic Republic. Vietnam took the side of the Islamic Republic.
Vietnam's a communist country, so...
Yeah, but I don't understand India, guys, because we do get a lot of support from Indian people here in the chat, but I don't understand why your government voted no. Where is Russia?
And then look at
So,
the
yeah,
look at the abstentions. The abstentions.
abstention.
If so,
Yeah.
people like the ones that don't vote. That's basically a no. They don't want to put down a no, but an abstention is basically a no. So you got Angola,
Okay.
Brazil,
Angola,
Burundi,
Brazil.
Cote d'Ivoire, Congo, Egypt, Ethiopia, Gambia, Kenya, Kuwait. What is that? Malawi, Mauritius, Qatar, of course, South Africa, Thailand. Wow, bunch of traitors.
Yeah, but India is confusing. So
That is confusing.
I mean, at least they could abstain. I don't understand why they voted no. So weird. By the way, Tommy Robinson posted this. These are the children of Khamenei's regime. So these are the children of people of their regime officials. Just look at how they live while their parents are killing, while their fathers are killing Iranians. Look how they live. Okay, I need to remove the audio because it's copyrighted song. These are the children of the mullahs and the IRGC. Look at the way that they look. This is their lifestyle. Islamic Republic regime leader children living billionaire lifestyle in Monaco and the globe and around the globe. So yeah. Not copyrighted music. And Goldie, if you ever need a break, I did an interview with like Emily Schrader, and
Yeah, how long is that?
half an hour. It's half an hour, but if you ever need us to like, play something while we do something else, we could show this as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, are you doing your discussion group today? Is that like an everyday thing?
Yes. I'm doing that in about 2 hours. 2 hours or
2 hours?
1 hour and 45. Yeah.
Okay.
2 hours.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I could use a little bit of a break because I want to check some news and there's a few other things. I want to send that tweet. Sorry, that message that you have. I want to make sure like it gets to the right people and it goes viral because we have to get ahead of that narrative for sure. So yeah, why don't you, if you want, you can either play your Emily Schrader interview or something else. I will watch it as well.
Yeah, because Twitch is going live, but he's talking about something else. My understanding is.
Oh,
right?
let me check and see. Yeah, if he's going live, but it's not about Iran, then we're not gonna like tune into that. Let me see.
Double check.
Yeah, he's speaking about Minneapolis, so that's fine. We're not going to tune into Tusi because he's speaking about Minneapolis. Okay.
Look at the trending stuff. Iran. Oh, Khamenei's children was trending.
Yeah.
Khamenei regime. Yeah. Oh yeah, so Khamenei children is talking about
that video. It's not his kids though. It's not his kids, but yeah.
No, there was another thing. It was about not Mujtaba Khamenei, Masoud Khamenei.
Oh wow.
So apparently they're giving him some responsibility now. So I think that's going viral as well. Anyway, so given that Tusi, so we could play this in place of Tusi, given that Tusi is talking about something else, right? So you could take
yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Okay. So guys, I'll just play this. And guys, make sure, by the way, guys, the only reason why I'm not subscribed here, I am subscribed. This is Atheist Republic, okay? So, yeah. So make sure, guys, you follow JNS TV and Emily Schrader's channels, okay? Make sure you subscribe to that. Okay, so let's just play this. All right, let's go from the beginning. Oh, sorry guys. I realized that I wasn't sharing audio. Let's go back from the beginning. Thank you for pointing it out. Thank you. The main thing that is happening right now is the greatest massacre in our modern history in Iran. They have snipers, they have machine guns, military-grade machine guns that are just pointing into the crowd and shooting. They are so angry based on the amount of blood that has been spilled that they don't care. they don't care if they die anymore. Supporting the Iranian people right now is not for the sake of Iranian people. You're helping Iranian people get rid of your own enemy.
Welcome back to Axis of Truth on JNS, and I'm here with Armin Navabi, an Iranian-born author and activist, as well as the founder of the Atheist Republic, one of the largest secular and ex-Muslim communities in the world. Now, Armin is a leading voice against Islamism and religious authoritarianism, drawing, of course, from his own experience growing up under the Islamic Republic of Iran. Through his writing and advocacy, he's really become a prominent defender of free expression, as well as separation of religion and state in the Middle East and beyond. Welcome, Armin.
Thank you for having me. And in addition to being against Islamism, I'm also against Islam as well. And I think more Iranians are also more and more anti-Islam. And I think based on what's happening in Iran right now, if Islam had any chance of survival before, based on the crimes of what the Islamic Republic has just committed, I think they just lost any remaining chances that they had. I was just watching a video from a grieving mother looking for the body of her child among all of the body bags, and at the very end of it, last few seconds, she started cursing the holiest figures in Shia Islam. And I'm getting so many reports of people from not just from our generation or younger, but from the older generation saying that they would never step foot in a mosque, that's swearing not just at the Islamic Republic, not just at Khamenei, but also the most sacred figures in Shia Islam.
Well, we'll speak about this more for sure, but I want to speak about the current situation to start. Now, Armin, you have been covering this every single night, and you've long said that this regime can't be reformed. What makes this uprising different from 2009, 2019, 2022? And why does it feel like a point of no return for the Islamic Republic?
The main thing that is happening right now is the greatest massacre in our modern history in Iran. And it's unbelievable that not more people are talking about this. And by the way, Emily, thank you so much for your coverage. I could tell you that you are a hero to us Iranians, and hopefully once this is all over, we could welcome you in Iran as a hero, because your coverage on all of this has been so valuable, and we will never forget what you have done for us. So thank you to you and all Israelis who have been backing us during this really hard time. We will never forget this. But also, to answer to your question, the reason why this is different, from previous ones, is because we're not just fighting against the Islamic Republic, we're fighting for something. We're fighting for the return of Pahlavi to Iran. The other waves of this revolution was mostly just anti-Islamic Republic, but we didn't have unity over what we want in its place, and now we do. And people in Iran are giving their lives just to be able to shout his name in the streets of Iran. And this is why this is not just our revolution, but it's also your revolution. This is a revolution for Israel. This is a revolution for America, and this is a revolution for the rest of the world. Because the Iranian people, in the same way that Israelis have paid the highest price to fight an evil that is a threat to the whole world, Iranian people are also today paying the heaviest price to fight the same evil that Israel has been fighting, that will not just save us Iranian people, but save everyone else. So this is why when we're asking for help, this is the help that will come towards us, if it comes finally, eventually, hopefully comes. It's not an act of charity, because it's cooperation. Because the Iranian people are paying the most of the price to get rid of an evil that is not just targeting Iranian people. I mean, I grew up in Iran. We were always told that the ultimate goal is world domination. We were told that Pahlavi was the first step, Israel is the small Satan, which is the second step, and United States is the great Satan, which is the final step that will lead to eventual world domination. I'm not saying they will ever be successful at that, but given that that's their goal, you could imagine how how big of a threat to everyone around the world they are, given that their goal is to completely dismantle the world order as we know it. So supporting the Iranian people right now is not for this, just for the sake of Iranian people. You're helping Iranian people get rid of your own enemy, and they're paying, and they will never forget this. By the way, like it's important to realize that for Israel and for United States and other countries, getting rid of the Islamic Republic is a huge plus for them, but also the relationship that Iran is going to have with your country after is even is something on top of that, because we're going to be our state is going to go from being part of a problem to being part of a solution. Especially for Israel, we're going to be cooperating. Our militaries are going to, our Artish is going to be cooperating with the IDF when it comes to fighting terrorist groups all around our neighborhood. Our Savak is going to be cooperating with Mossad when it comes to intelligence operations around the neighborhood. So we're going to be allies, just like we always have been for the past 2,500 years. We're going to go back to being allies again and working with each other side by side to basically neutralize our enemies. So at this moment, the help that we get is going to strengthen the bond that we're going to have after this revolution is successful. So one way or another, just let me be clear, because even if we don't receive any help, we Iranian people, we are going to get rid of the Islamic Republic. The help that we're asking for is not because it's necessary to get rid of the Islamic Republic. The help that we're asking for is to reduce the cost. Is to reduce the cost for removing the Islamic Republic, and it's also so that the relationship that we are going to have with the countries that helped us, we strengthen that bond, and it's basically a win-win for both of us. The win for us is that we're going to have less people dying. The win for United States and Israel is going to be that we will never forget the help that we received, and it's just going to strengthen the bond and cooperations that we're going to have. Iran is a great nation, and I'm pretty sure being an ally of the country that we are about to come is going to be a huge advantage to any country that right now takes advantage of this opportunity and helps reduce this mass slaughter right now.
That's actually a really important point. Fighting the regime actually helps all sides here, and delaying help only makes the fall of the regime slower and, as we spoke about, more deadly. As you know, the regime keeps pushing this myth of foreign interference, while at the same time importing thousands of terrorists from Iraq to crush Iranian protesters. What does that contradiction tell us about who the real foreign actors are in this equation?
I mean, everything that they're accusing us for, they did worse during the revolution that they celebrate. The revolution that they did in 1979, they were trained by the so-called Palestinians. They had help from Libya. They had so much foreign help, and they were trained. They got ammunition from so-called Palestinians and Libya. And they accuse us right now of supporting terrorism in the streets. They burn cinemas with people in them just so that they could blame it on the Shah. So it's obviously projection. But when it comes to foreign intervention, I mean, no revolution has been successful. I mean, there are not that many. The vast majority of revolutions have been successful with some foreign help. The United States Revolution, became successful because of French help. So I don't understand. Like, that is what is the problem with that? The Iranian people, a lot of people were criticizing Iranians that you should do this yourself without any foreign help. Now we see the cost of the revolution. Now that the Iranian people have done more than anybody even imagined they would do, and you see the number of people dying, everybody could see that some help would go a long way to reduce the massacre. And again, I mean, anybody who says, no foreign intervention, if you look at empirical data, where has isolationism gotten us? Every single society that has become prosperous, that has become a great nation, has done that because of cooperation and with other great nations, with allies. So Iran has a huge potential of becoming a great nation, and anybody helping us right now is just basically the beginning of many future cooperations to come. So I mean, America is the greatest superpower on earth, and it started its journey of being a nation state by the French helping with its revolution. So why should we not ask for some help for our revolution?
Yeah, that's a great point that you mentioned. Now, many Iranians have heard strong rhetoric from President Trump and figures like Steve Witkoff, but then watched as action didn't immediately follow that, leading to ultimately very barbaric bloodshed at the hands of the regime. From what you're hearing directly from people on the ground, how damaging has that silence been? And what do Iranians need to see now? I mean, is there still momentum?
So there is still momentum, because what every single report that I'm getting from inside Iran, what I'm hearing is that there, even if there, it has ups and downs, right? So you have sometimes the presence is really high, sometimes it dies down a little. But just because it dies down a little, it doesn't mean that the drive, the motivation uh, has gone away, right? Because what I'm hearing is that they are waiting to start again. They're waiting for another spark to go to go back into the streets, and and actually more than before. Everything I've heard from every single person from inside Iran is that they are so angry based on the amount of blood that has been spilled, that they don't care. They don't care if they die anymore, and they think that their understanding is that the price that they have paid so far is too much for this not to work out. So I hear people talking about it as if they're talking about something so casually, like, oh yeah, my brother died, my sister died, my neighbor died, and we're waiting to see when we could go out again. Like while reporting that, witnessing people dying right next to them. The crazy thing is that a lot of people are reporting that everybody knows somebody who has died. That's how big the level of death, killings has been, that everybody knows somebody who has died, which is insane. And the fact that they can't wait to go back into the streets. Like, people come and they get their audio recording out or their messages out, and they're saying that they're waiting for another opportunity. Right now, the military presence is high, and most of them, by the way, is from Hashd Shabi in Iraq, and Fatimiyun from Afghanistan, and Zainabiyun from Pakistan, which suggests that the Iranians themselves that are part of the regime seems that they're refusing order, right? And they basically brought the proxies, the terrorists from Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iraq. So yeah, Hashd Shabi, which is the popular mobilization front, that's from Iraq, and Fatimiyun is from Afghanistan, and Zainabiyun is from Pakistan. Yes. So apparently I don't know if it's most, but a huge portion of the people who are being killed right now are from these foreign terrorists that the Islamic Republic is bringing in, and that is a red line that even some people within the regime cannot tolerate, and I think is going to cause a lot more defections, seeing foreigners coming into Iran and killing Iranians. But the ways that they're killing people is they have snipers, they have machine guns, military grade machine guns that they're pointing into the crowd. The reports suggest that they're not aiming for anyone specifically. They're just pointing into the crowd and shooting. There was a report of some children in a park, like 24 or 25 children in a park, just chanting. And the armed forces showed up and they just killed every single one of those children. There are reports of people coming with backpacks because they have water bottles for everybody. They have like napkins for everyone else. And everybody is encouraging everybody when they come into the streets. They look at each other and they congratulate each other. There are reports of people were reporting that elderly people were standing in front, and the younger people were trying to get them to go back, and the elderly people were saying like, no, because we you guys are young and you should build the country, so let us be at the front so that we got shot first. There was a report of a husband and wife that were in the streets, and the wife told they passed a dead body, and the wife told her husband that if I get shot, you make sure you run away because I don't want our daughter to be an orphan. There's so many messages like this that are coming on. There was, I think, I don't know if you saw the audio recording from on Manitou. There was this daughter of a high-ranking IRGC member that called in, that was crying, that that felt so much shame because she was part of this family, family of the regime, and she was telling the Iranian people that I promise you that we're not with these people. Like she felt so much guilt and shame for being part of them, and she was begging the armed forces to put down their weapon.
Yeah, let's play that clip actually.
فاطمه جان درود به شما، به برنامه خوش اومدید.
سلام، صدای من میشنوید؟
بله خانم، رسا در خدمتیم، خوش آمدید.
من از داخل نظام تماس میگیرم. پدر من جزو یکی از عوامل نیروی سرکوبگره. شاهدم که چه جنایت‌هایی فقط پدر خود من کرده.
فاطمه جان
الان دستور میده بکشید. من کجا بیام؟ من عکس دارم، فیلم دارم، مدارک دارم. ما از اینا نیستیم. من سر جنبش محض رفتم، منو گرفتن با 3 تا از دوستان، ولی منو شناختن. پدرم اومد منو آزاد کرد. دوستای من دوستامو ول نکردن، به اونا تجاوز شد. ما اینا رو نمیخوایم. مردم ما از خانواده ایناییم، ولی اینا دارن بچه‌هاشونم میکشن، سرکوب میکنن. میدونین ما خودمون چه دردی کشیدیم از این پدرهای سنگدل. به زور سرمون چادر کردن، نماز گفتن بخون، نماز شب بخون. ما خودمون زجر کشیدیم. من اگه توانی داشتم اولین نفری بودم که اینو بکشم.
There was another person that called into Manitou, and she was mentioning that her sister had MS, and she was, even though she was walking with the cane, she still joined the protest. And when they started shooting, everybody ran away, but she couldn't run fast because she was on a cane, and they shot her on the side. And when she fell, other people went to try to grab her, and the people who went to try to grab her, they were being shot as well. So four bodies basically dropped right next to her, and eventually her sister, she was on the ground and she was still breathing, and even though she couldn't move anymore, they took another shot at her heart and killed her while she was on the ground. There's so many videos. The video that I just watched before coming here, I was already mentioned that a mother who was looking at the bodies to find her child, at the end she starts cursing Islamic holy figures. There's so many. It's unbelievable. And also, I'm getting reports that the number, I don't know, this needs to be verified, but a lot of people from Iran are saying that the 12,000 or 20,000 number that they're giving out, it's a joke. They're saying that, I don't know if they're in a position to assess the numbers or not, but they're saying that their assessment is that the numbers are way, way higher than that. So, but we have to see. But my perception right now is that once we actually get the full reports, I think we're witnessing one of the greatest massacres in history, and I think a lot of people are going to be shamed for decades to come for either being silent about this or whitewash. A lot of people are calling it a human rights violation. It's a human rights violation is when you do this to the citizens of another country. I don't think they have name for this. I don't think they have a name for this when a regime does this to the people that it's supposed to be governing. This is a human rights violation if a government, if a military of a government goes and attacks another country and does this to a people of another country. What the Islamic Republic is doing right now, Iran doesn't have a name. We still haven't come up with a name for it. But here's the thing. I don't want to I just don't want to be all negative, because the price is very, very high, but what we're getting in return is worth it. And I know it's worth it because the Iranian people are still coming out and still fighting after all they have paid. So they think it's worth it. And eventually when we succeed, this is going to be, a pivoting point, like a turning point in history. I think this is going to change everything. I think you're going to see Iran becoming a major solution to many of the problems that we're seeing in the Middle East and the rest of the world. We're going to be a source of secularism, democracy, just like when the Islamic Republic came into power, it started becoming a problem not just in Iran, but the entire region and worldwide. I think once Iran becomes a secular democracy, we're also going to become a major solution worldwide. We're going to have a positive impact to our neighbors, to everything in that region, all the countries in that region. And I think the idea is because the Iranian people have the proper values, the values of secularism, democracy, individual rights, equality before the law, separation of powers, everything, all the values that makes a society great. The Iranian people have that, and this is why they're so undeserving of the regime that they have, because the best people have the worst regime has been forced upon the best people, in my opinion. I think the nation of Israel and the nation of Iran are the two groups of people that are fighting for life in a sea of death, all around them. And I think that I think Israel deserves not to be alone in this region anymore. So I think that by liberating Iran, Israel will finally have an ally, have a partner fighting side by side with it. And I think that that will go a long way. And I think we're going to see a lot of this. Is why I'm saying that Israelis, please don't think that if you get involved, and I hope you do, and Americans, please just don't just do this for yourself. Do this for yourself. I promise you, you're going to see the benefits. The returns on this is going to be you're not going to regret being with or without help, we're going to be successful in this revolution. But because we're going to be successful, you're not going to regret being part of it and being responsible for all of us getting there. So we're just waiting. And by the way, I do think that something is going to happen. I don't know when this is going to come out, but I'm happy to have heard that the reason why Israel delayed the attack was not because it didn't want to help, but because they thought that the attack that was planned originally was insufficient, and they wanted something more meaningful and significant. So that's the reason for the delay. And I understand that, because the Islamic Republic, if they know that this is it, they will throw anything and everything they can at everybody around them, especially Israel. And it's very important for the attack to be carried out in a way that Israeli lives are protected. As long as it's coming, we understand the delay.
Yeah, I've also heard the numbers are much higher than what we're seeing, at least being reported in the media now initially. But I do want to ask you also about the aggressive disinformation campaign by the regime and its apologists in the West. I'm wondering if you can explain a little about how the Iran lobby operates and why it goes into overdrive at moments like this when the regime is most at risk. I mean, we're even seeing figures like Tucker Carlson echo talking points that benefit the regime. It's funny, you actually had a viral moment with Goldy Gamari this week when Tucker Carlson's bizarre rants were literally being broadcasted by the regime on state TV. How does this psychological operation work, and why is it so effective in confusing Western audiences?
Yeah, so the Islamic Republic has, if I want to simplify it, it has the hardliners and the reformers, and the reformers are a much bigger problem than the hardliners, because the hardliners don't know how to do politics, but the reformers have they so-called reformers, right? The so-called reformers, they're actually a lot more brutal and barbaric, but they know how to play politics, and they also know how to put on a face, like basically pretend that they're civilized and they're abiding by international standards. And the reformers, the so-called reformers, people with, and their leaders are Rouhani, Zarif, Arakchi, Tajzadeh, and people like that. They have managed to figure out exactly how to infiltrate into the American political system, and they have been working on these networks for many years. I mean, even doing Nayak, is a lot of people understand Nayak is part of the reformers arm of the Islamic Republic. They also have so many other ways. They have so many allies. They have so many friends. They spend a lot of money in building these networks to have some influence over Washington, D.C. And this is the reformers are very important because they also had a plan. They had a plan to sell their leader of the opposition, their own candidates for leader of the opposition, to the United States, like, for example, Nargis Mohammadi or Taran Ali Dusti, or some alternatives to Princes of Pahlavi, so that they could, as we call it in Iran, transition to a third republic. So the first republic is Khomeini, the second republic is Khamenei, the third republic is supposed to be an Islamic republic that is going to pretend that they have reformed, that everything is okay now. But these are, but if you actually look at the record of the people that they pick as the alternative to Princes of Pahlavi as the leader of the opposition, you can see that they're anti-imperialist, and they're, anti-imperial. I mean, they're not technically anti-imperialist; they're pro-imperialist, but they call themselves anti-imperialist. And they're anti-Zionists, and they're anti-Pahlavi. By the way, for Israelis, it's very telling that everybody who is anti-Pahlavi, almost everybody, the Venn diagram is like really closely matches. Most people who are anti-Pahlavi are also anti-Zionist or anti-Israeli, which shows that Pahlavi and Pahlavi supporters and our patriots, they're on the right side of history. And also, by the way, it's very telling that the Iranian people, the name that everybody is calling in the streets of Iran in these protests is somebody that is a very close friend of Israel and is prioritizing recognizing the state of Israel in their transition, in the 100-day emergency transition plan, as priority number one in week one of the foreign policy. If people read the booklet, so somebody that has this high of a priority when it comes to normalizing relationship with Israel is the Iranians' pick for the reader, which shows Iranians' view on Israel, right? So that's very telling. So when it comes to lobbies, by the way, there's another more sneaky lobby that we have to pay attention to, because a lot of these different groups that have influence over Washington, D.C. have been exposed during their years, and they're still influential, but they're not as influential as they used to be. However, the Islamic Republic has managed to turn its friend and some of its enemies into lobbies in Washington as well. So by making Qatar, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia understand that if I'm going down, I will take as much of you down with me as I possibly can, it has turned these three countries effectively into its own lobbies in Washington, D.C. So the Islamic Republic has influence in Washington, D.C., but it's never as, say, powerful as what these three countries, the influence that these countries have in Washington, D.C. is significantly higher. And by threatening them, so it has turned all of these three countries into against regime change in Iran, which is a very effective way of using these countries' lobbying power in Washington, D.C. to basically push for what they want.
Now, we are almost out of time, but I do want to ask you before I let you go, as an ex-Muslim, as one of the leading voices against Islamism, how central is the rejection of religious rule to this uprising? And what does a post-Islamic Republic Iran actually look like from the perspective of Iranians inside the country right now?
Before this wave of this revolution, because I think the revolution was much longer living, this is just the last wave of it, but before this wave of the revolution, there was close to, like, the vast majority of the Iranian people agreed with the four principles of Princes of Pahlavi, right? So border integrity, democracy, secularism, so separation of church and power, and the fourth principle is equal individual rights for all citizens, right? So secularism is the second, I think, highest priority for Iranians. So much so that polls even suggest that even Muslim Iranians want secularism. So even the vast majority of Iranians who are Muslim, they don't want it in politics anymore. So that's a good sign. However, what I think is that, so I don't think that Islam will have any chance in politics once the Islamic Republic falls. So that, to many people, including Muslims, that's a given. That's like obvious. That is so obvious that it doesn't even need to be discussed. Like, there's no chance. Like, we're going to be extremely. I don't think like. I don't like. I also think that not that many far left parties are going to have any chance. I think there are going to be laws passed not to allow communism in our parliament as well, but we'll see about that. I'm going to push for them, right? But so I think another question that we should be asking that is more challenging to ask is that, is this the end of Islam in Iran? Like eventually, like I'm not saying it's going to happen immediately, because we already were like a couple of years ago, we were already in a point that we understood regime change in Iran means the end of Islam in politics and the end of the Rouhani class, the end of the mullah class. Like that is the end of it. But now, after the crimes that the Islamic Republic committed, we're wondering if Islam as a religion as a whole will survive in Iran. That's the question right now. Anyways, I see we're running out of time, so I'm just going to end it there. Yeah. But
yes, well, we are out of time, but I do want to thank you so much for joining us. Armin Navabi, thanks for joining us and sharing about this important topic. In addition to all the great work that you do at Atheist Republic, I want to encourage all of you to check it out. I'm probably a little biased because I'm also on there occasionally, but really important work that you're doing, Armin.
Can I just say one last thing? I can't wait for the day where Israelis get to come celebrate with us right next to Cyrus's tomb. I'm imagining all around Cyrus's tomb a wave of the flag of Iran, the lion and sun flag of Iran, and Israeli flags, all Israelis and Iranians celebrating our victory together. Yeah, I can't just wait for that to welcome all Israelis finally to come as guests to Iran to celebrate this together. And I also wanted to just add Am Israel Chai and Javid Shah, and thank you.
Absolutely. We can't wait for that day. Thank you, Armin.
Okay.
That was really good. That was
really?
really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. I'm trying to find King Reza Pahlavi's interview because I know you played a clip of it, but I wanted to get the full one. So because he spoke for longer than that. So let me see if I can find it. It was
Oh yeah, that one is an important one.
Yeah.
Guys, I'll put the link to that conversation in the chat, and you go like it, go watch it there, and share it as well, because we need to show Emily love and support. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
No, that was excellent. This interview, Armin, this is gonna like upset you as well, because like just oh my gosh.
Really.
Oh
the
yeah.
Questions? No.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous. But you know what? King Reza Pahlavi, he answers perfectly. So guys,
actually, Goldie, you're right. Let them the crappy questions that they ask. That's a good thing, because so many people have those crappy questions, and Prince Reza Pahlavi handles them very well. So it's good to have an answer to those crappy questions. So let them ask them.
I agree. Yeah. It also just shows like how smart and educated and prepared King Reza Pahlavi is, right? Because you would think that given the atrocities and what's happening in Iran right now, people would have more questions for the Islamic regime, but instead they're attacking King Reza Pahlavi. Like it's
I know,
so
right?
bizarre. So bizarre. Yeah. But here, like watch this.
Die Protestbewegung im Iran hatte bei vielen die Hoffnung auf einen Regimewechsel in Teheran genährt. Einer, der die Proteste im Iran angefeuert hat, ist Reza Pahlavi, der Sohn des 1979 gestürzten Schahs. Und mit ihm habe ich ausführlich gesprochen. Reza Pahlavi, thank you for being our guest.
Thank you for having me.
Tens of thousands took to the streets. Thousands of people were killed during the protests. You fueled those protests. Some of the people called your name. How do you handle this responsibility?
We are, for the first time in years, at full war against a regime that has declared war on its own citizenry. I don't call it a protest anymore. It is a genuine revolution for a nation that is tired of 46 years of religious dictatorship and tyranny. The number of victims is really a massacre in darkness when they cut off communications to the whole world and they take on brave young Iranians who have been fighting and asking for their freedom. It has been horrendous, the reports that we have gotten over the last few days of the extent of the massacre this regime has extended. But when you are at war, you are prepared to fight until the very end. and there's no point of return for us. So we all are committed to liberate our country. We only hope that the free world will come to our help. And this time, instead of appeasing this regime time and again, this time they will stay with the Iranian people and make sure that we can put an end to this regime and finally liberate ourselves.
The US President Trump is again considering military attacks. Do you expect a US intervention?
All options, as the president said, is on the table. We believe that.
Sorry, I just want to add something because I see some Germans in the chat. Please don't feel ashamed. This is not an attack on you. If you guys recall, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, I went over a very, very disgusting interview by Canadian state broadcaster CBC, where the Canadian media our state media, which is funded by Canadian taxpayer dollars, and they were literally just promoting Islamic regime propaganda. So listen, it's, as a Canadian, I'm also very frustrated with Canadian lefty media like CBC and others. So please, German people, this is not an attack on you. This is just the left wing, I don't know, mainstream media, which is just always has been against the Iranian people. They were against us back in 1979, and it seems like it's happening again today. But again, this is not a comment on you. Believe me, in Canada, it's even worse. In Canada, it's even worse because, at least German media is interviewing King Reza Pahlavi. No Canadian media outlet has reached out or has interviewed King Reza Pahlavi yet, right? Instead, they've been platforming Islamic regime supporters. So we love you, Germany. I just wanted to add that.
A rapid and necessary strike to dismantle the regime's mechanism and apparatus of repression. That means targeting IRGC and other elements tied to the regime machinery of repression would be a very effective way to weaken the regime and make it impossible for them to use the level of brutality that we have seen against unarmed civilians. That's the only time that you can actually help this nation, giving them a fair chance to succeed, if indeed the objective is to, on the one hand, provide our nation with freedom, but as an element, unlike this regime that has always been hostile to the West, and in particular to the United States, a nation where the Iranian people want to live at peace in the region and work with their neighbors and provide that level of tranquility and stability that is the best strategic interest of the Western countries, including the United States. And I think this is something that Donald Trump understands fully.
Has he offered his help for you personally?
I'm not asking for any personal endorsement from any leader anywhere in the world. What I do ask them to do is to help the Iranian people and respond to their appeal for help. This is the best way that the world can help us. And I, of course, have offered to help my compatriot at their call to lead this transition, move beyond this regime, and bring it to its ultimate conclusion, which hopefully will be a secular democratic system in Iran once we can organize free elections. We have a plan for that, which is quite extensive, and Iran's prosperity project that has various phases to do that. We would like to work with all those who are willing to help and assist us in that process. So there's a lot going on as we speak. But first and foremost, we'll have to see in what way the response will occur and how soon can Iranians be in a better position to then push for the ultimate move. Everything will be riding to a great extent on this intervention that everybody's awaiting.
For some, you're seen as a beacon of hope, but with all respect, there is no proof of how many people really support you. So what makes you more than a self-proclaimed future leader?
Millions of people came to the streets in Iran, in the four corners of Iran. By the millions, they were chanting my name. They were saying Pahlavi barmigarde, which means Pahlavi will return. They've been chanting, Iran is ready now, give us orders, Shahzadeh. Then my name was chanted. It's written on the walls. I don't know how much more evidence do you need to have a proof that I have actually the support of millions of my compatriots who have called me by name, who have asked me to step in, and I have. So I have no doubt in my mind that this support is definitely out there. What the world needs to understand is that I'm here to help with the transition. I'm not running for office. I'm not asking for anything in return. But I know and understand how crucial my role could be to be that agent of change as a father to the nation and as a servant to the people. And that is my commitment to them. And I think that's why they trust me, and that's why they call me, because they know that for the past 46 years, I have never, ever wavered from this commitment beyond my words in action. And that's why today's Gen Z of Iran comes to me, call me as a father, and want me to lead them to the final victory.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm ready to do my part.
Let me ask you, you have critics who fear that upon a possible return to Iran, you will aim at forming perhaps a new autocracy, possibly a new Pahlavi dynasty. So in what respect do you distance yourself from your father's way of governing?
First of all, there are some critics that are obviously parroting the narrative of a regime that would try to do anything from smear campaigns to lies to all sorts of accusations that are totally unfounded. Look, I lived the better part of my life for the past 46 years in the Western world, in democratic countries. I understand the importance and the values of all the institutions and the mechanisms to make sure that you cannot deviate from that, where there's no concentration of power, when you can fight back corruption, how important transparency is, and everything else in between. This is something that we will utilize as tools to strengthen our institution, to bring our civil society into the picture, well beyond the structure of governance. How would I possibly be someone that would not understand the importance of it? And because I understand it and I've learned it in practice, that's exactly what I like to bring back to Iran. So we as Iranians are guaranteed in the future to have self-determination, to have freedom. But as to the measure of what will determine the future, there's nothing other than the ballot box that ultimately will decide it. So I wonder if these critics are just as committed to democracy as I am. Because if they are believing in democracy, then they shouldn't fear the ballot box. My question to them is, do you fear the result of the ballot box? I don't.
So are you still planning to get back to Iran, and how?
Well, how I get there, I'm working on it, but I'd like to be there even before the regime collapses, if possible. But I'll be there sooner than we think, able to help my compatriots and lead us to the next phase.
Reza Pahlavi, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Before the regime collapses? That is a major news. That's a major news.
Let's go back and listen to that again. I mean, I hope not, because I want him to be
institutions and the mechanisms to make sure that you cannot deviate from that, where there's no concentration of power, when you can fight back corruption, how important transparency is, and everything else in between. This is something that we will utilize as tools to strengthen our institution, to bring our civil society into the picture, well beyond the structure of governance. How would I possibly be someone that would not understand the importance of it? And because I understand it and I've learned it in practice, that's exactly what I like to bring back to Iran. So we as Iranians are guaranteed in the future to have self-determination, to have freedom. But as to the measure of what will determine the future, there's nothing other than the ballot box that ultimately will decide it. So I wonder if these critics are just as committed to democracy as I am. Because if they are believing in democracy, then they shouldn't fear the ballot box. My question to them is, do you fear the result of the ballot box? I don't.
So are you still planning to get back to Iran, and how?
Well, how I get there, I'm working on it, but I'd like to be there even before the regime collapses, if possible. But I'll be there sooner than we think, able to help my compatriots and lead us to the next phase.
Reza Pahlavi, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
How?
Thanks for having me.
Well, he did say if possible. So it doesn't mean he's actually planning on it. He's just saying if it's possible. So he's like, the way that I interpret this is just, all options are on the table, right? So he's just him and his team are going to be monitoring the situation. That's how I see that.
Okay. All right, but the rest of it was perfect answers. I know that he doesn't. He keeps on having to listen to people saying his father was a tyrant or a dictator, and I mean, I know he doesn't fall for that trap because he doesn't respond to that. He just goes and talks about more things that, because I think that's the trap. Like if he actually wants to respond to that, that's a misdirect. Like it will move the conversation in a direction that it shouldn't. So he knows that he just focuses on the main points, and the responses are perfect. I just hate it that people are just going around and just saying like, oh, how do we know that you're not going to be like your father? It's going to be amazing if he's like his father.
I was gonna say, I pray that King Reza Pahlavi II is exactly like his father. In fact, I pray that King Reza Pahlavi will not make the mistake that his father made and show mercy to those savages.
Can I actually say I don't think Prince? I mean, I see your point. You're right. I don't think Mohammad Reza Shah made a mistake. I think the people needed to see how ungrateful they were. I think that our Shah was better than the people, and the people didn't know what they had. So I think the Shah.
Well, I would know. Yeah. I'm going to say his only mistake, Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi's only mistake is that when the independent judiciary sentenced Khamenei to death for treason, the Shah's only mistake is that he forgave Khamenei and said, you know what, I will spare your life. Why don't you just live out the rest of your life in exile? To me, that's the only mistake that he made.
Yeah, I do think that Iran should have experienced this even though we paid such a high price for it. I think the Iranian people were not as mature as their king, and we know the Iranian people want Pahlavi more than ever before. So I think this 47 years was an education for the Iranian people to get this to the same level of maturity and awareness as their king, because I think at the time of Mohammad Reza Shah, he was ahead of our time, and for a society to prosper, I think the people need to be as mature as the king was. So I think it was necessary for us to go through what we went. So now,
it's a lesson that we've paid with in blood. We've paid this lesson with the blood of our people, unfortunately. But I want to share this video. This video was put out by the Richard Nixon Foundation a few days ago, and it's Richard Nixon. It's 15 minutes of Richard Nixon speaking about the Shah of Iran. So I just want to share this with you guys because this is really, really important. Okay.
Let's look at the Shah for just a moment and look at him very fairly. He actually was a progressive in a number of ways. He instituted a land reform program. He instituted a literacy program. He sent thousands of students from Iran to the United States, and particularly the United States, to study, and in other countries as well. He liberated women. The irony was that those he liberated, the women and the students he sent abroad, they came back and joined the revolutionary forces. And the irony was that the Shah, being progressive, was attacked as being reactionary and conservative on these particular issues, whereas his opponents were the reactionaries. Putting it very bluntly and very simply, the Shah was trying to move Iran into the 20th century. His opponents, Khomeini et al., wanted to move Iran back into the Dark Ages, and that's what they've done. Now, there was some repression, true. Now there is total repression. there may not have been enough land reform. Now there is none whatever. What I am simply suggesting is this, that
I want to add something here. When Richard Nixon is talking about there was some repression, that repression was because the Shah of Iran at the time, he banned communism and Islamism, right? So he banned communism and Islamism because at that time in the 70s, the USSR was still around, and the Soviets were trying to bring Iran under, like, you know, under the Iron Curtain. And so a lot of the communist activity, a lot of the communist parties were actually funded by Moscow. So that's why the Shah was banned communism, which, you know, people refer to as repression, even though they were all, like, all the Marxists and communists were funded by Moscow. And in fact, today, wait, let me just finish. And in fact, today you have European countries like Czech Republic. So Czech Republic, which is a democratic country, just recently banned communism in their country because they've recognized how dangerous the communist ideology is to you know, Western civilization.
Yeah, the Soviet Union was transparently and trying to take out parts of Iran. Like we were at war with the Soviets, who were basically trying to use internal forces, the communist forces, to take a huge part. Like they said themselves, swallow in huge parts of Iran. So yeah, we were basically at war with our enemies, obviously.
when we look at the Shah, we have to look at him in terms of what he confronted. And he confronted revolutionary forces there that were not working, in my view, for what was best for Iran and certainly not best for ourselves. And most important, from the United States standpoint, instead of having a friend in Iran, we now have one that is not only not a friend, but one that considers us to be the great Satan.
Can you say that if you had stayed in office that you would not have allowed the Shah to fall?
I would not have, no. I would have been steadfast throughout. I would have made it very clear down through the bureaucracy that there was to be absolutely no contact with those that were trying to overthrow him. I would have had a very good study made of Khomeini's background and would have found that exactly what kind of person he was, because by studying his background, they could have known that he was going to do exactly what he's going to do. The man is a radical reactionary. He's not a progressive in any sense of the word. See, the choice basically was not between the Shah and somebody better. The choice was between him and somebody worse. And it's very easy for me to make that choice.
If you had been confronted with the worst case from that point of view, and the Shah had been overthrown and hostages taken, and you were president, would you have taken him into the United States?
Absolutely. I would have taken him into the United States. And as far as the hostages was concerned, I would have handled that a little differently too. I don't say this in criticism of President Carter, because he certainly went through a lot on the hostage situation. He believes it may have cost him the election. I don't think it did. I think the economic issues were the major ones. But be that as it may, it didn't help him. But as far as the hostage situation was concerned, American foreign policy can never be made hostage to hostages. That's why hostages are taken, for purposes of blackmail. And we mustn't let that happen. And for example, when President Carter was asked about the hostage situation, he went overboard in saying that our first and then only concern was the safety of the hostages. Now, that is a concern, but our major concern is what happens to Iran, what happens to the relations between the United States and Iran. And in this respect, I would never have said, as President Carter did, that I rule out the use of force in order to get the hostages back. All that did was to encourage those that had captured them and were holding them in captivity not to give them up. I remember President Eisenhower during our administration and the vice presidential days used to say on occasion that he had learned as a military commander that it's very important never to tell your enemy what you're going to do, because then he'll be ready for you. But he says it's just important never to tell him what you're not going to do, because then that will encourage him to do things he otherwise might not do. And in this case, that was a mistake, in my view, to do that. The other thing I would say is that with regard to the hostage rescue operation, that President Carter and the Pentagon, I assume they're the ones that joined in the decision, made a mistake and are not, again, following out an Eisenhower dictum. And that dictum is that when you make a play of that sort, you always assume the worst. And you cannot assume that your intelligence is going to be absolutely accurate. I have a very interesting reaction in that respect that Eisenhower had at the time of Lebanon in 1958. As everybody will recall, in 1958 in Lebanon, there was a crisis because the government there was under attack. There was a possibility the Soviet Union might intervene. And Eisenhower had to make a decision as to whether or not to send Marines in order to establish peace. And I remember the briefing that occurred in the Oval Office, and Eisenhower heard Allen Dulles, the head of the CIA, and Foster Dulles, the Secretary of State, brief him and to recommend that we send in a Marine group in order to keep order. And when they gave their report, they indicated that they did not think there would be any intervention from the standpoint of the Russians, and then that it would be a peaceful operation. And Eisenhower sat back, and after they had given this report, he said, "Foster, let me ask you something. Let us assume our intelligence is wrong. Are you prepared to take the next step?" And Foster Dulles thought a long time. He said, "Well, Mr. President, I'm 90% sure that there will be no problem. But if there is, yes, we should be prepared to take the next step." The point of that anecdote is that Eisenhower would never have made the mistake of the Bay of Pigs. When the intelligence proved to be wrong, there wasn't the uprising that they had hoped at the time, and when it was necessary to have committed more air strength than had been planned, or at least not to cut back on what had been planned. In other words, in the hostage situation, rather than sending enough helicopters plus one, you should say send twice the number to be sure that if there were, as there turned out to be, mechanical or other difficulties, you'd be prepared to carry out the operation to a successful conclusion.
If you had still been in office, would you have taken the risk of the rescue mission?
Oh, yes. Oh, I think President Carter deserves high marks for taking that risk. I saw the Shah the last time in Mexico, at Cuernavaca, Mexico. He was then in the last phases of terminal cancer, although he would never admit it or talk about his own problems at all. But he was quite thin and quite pale. But his head still as active and sharp as it had always been. He's a very intelligent, introspective man. And he said that what concerned him about the way he was treated by the United States was not that the United States was for him or against him, but was the uncertainty of the policy. He says there's nothing worse when you are confronted with revolutionary and rebel forces and uncertainty insofar as support is concerned. One day, for example, he said statements would come in, public and private, from Washington indicating total support and urging him to stand firm. The next day, there would be some story leaked from a high-level aide printed all over the world and given particular credence in Tehran to the effect that lower-level or second-level people in the administration were meeting with Khomeini and others who were out to knock the Shah off or out, as the case might be. And then the next day, there would be a story to the effect that in the event that the Shah left Iran or was overthrown, the United States would be prepared to accept any government that the people chose. Well, he said all of this had the effect of encouraging his enemies and, of course, discouraging his own supporters. He said that was a mistake. And I believe it was a mistake, too. As a matter of fact, what happened to the Shah, I think, could only be interpreted in that part of the world and other parts of the world as well, is that it is dangerous to be a friend of the United States, and it may pay to be an enemy. I think what we have to understand is that the Shah was the best friend of the United States in that area, and the whole Persian Gulf area, and it was Israel's only friend. The Shah, we must remember, in the 1973 war, furnished oil for our Mediterranean fleet when the other countries in the area had cut it off. And the Shah tied down the Iraqi forces by supporting the Kurds against the Iraqis so that they never got involved in the 73 war. And I know that the Shah, when he spoke in Mexico about what had happened, he could not understand why it was that among his critics in the American media, there were some of Jewish background, not all, but some who were among his most violent critics because they were liberals and they thought he was too reactionary and the rest. And he just couldn't understand that because he was the only friend that Israel had in that whole area of the world.
Why did you go to his funeral?
First, because I knew him better than any world leader I have met over the past 37 years of public life in and out of it. I met him first back in 1953 when I was a young vice president and he was a very young Shah in his early 30s. And I met him over 10 or 12 times after that. I found him to be a very sensitive man, a very intelligent man, one who understood the world as well as any leader that I had met, who could talk about India or Pakistan or China or Latin America with, frankly, as much perception and sophistication as any American leader could possibly talk about it. And I had great respect for him. And I think the major reason I went, though, I must say, was because I was concerned that our own government, again, I suppose, because of the hostage situation, was not going to be represented at the funeral by a high-level person.
Were you concerned that your going might embarrass President Carter?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, it occurred to me that President Carter probably deep down wished he could have gone, but he couldn't. He didn't feel that he could because of the hostage situation. No, I went because the Shah was my friend. He was a friend of the United States, and I thought that some high-level individual from the United States ought to be there. You see, the important thing that we've got to get across to the people in countries that are wavering between standing with us or going in the other direction or remaining neutral is that the United States is not a fair weather friend, that we will stand by our friends and allies when they are down as well as when they are up. Now, that may not make good diplomacy, but I think it in the short run, but in the long term, I think it's absolutely essential if we're going to build the kind of support and respect and confidence in the United States that we need to have.
Mr. Nixon, America has been criticized for abandoning friends like the Shah, whom you strongly supported, and you've criticized our abandoning him. But isn't the danger just as great in sticking with regimes that have lost the support of their people, like the Shah, like Somoza, like Ian Smith? Again and again, it's said that we back despots and dictators.
I couldn't disagree with you more. What you have to understand is that the choice was never between the Shah and somebody better, but between the Shah and somebody infinitely worse.
Well, we don't know
And
that
what
in the
you have to-
beginning.
Well, the point is, if we didn't know it at the beginning, we'd better know it now. We have friends all over the world like the Shah, and we have friends, for example, in Saudi Arabia at the present time. Because that government happens to be corrupt, it is claimed, are we going to abandon them? Let's take China, for example. Because China is more Stalinist than the Soviet Union, are we going to say that we're going to abandon them? No.
But don't we ever say this man is no good for this country, this man is a dictator, this man is a despot, and maybe it could be better? Or do we automatically assume it won't be?
We do not automatically assume anything. We have to use our influence and use it effectively, but it's got to be used with a rifle rather than a shotgun, and we must not jump from the frying pan into the fire. It was a great mistake to do what we did to the Shah, and if that had not happened, we wouldn't have the hostage situation today. If the United States doesn't stand up for its friends, we're not going to have friends. That's true of the Shah. It's true of others as well. The choice is not a good one many times. The choice is between, however, for example, when you really equate the Shah with some of the others, I'm really surprised because the choice is between one who is a friend of the United States, whatever may be his failings, and one who is an enemy, one who tries to export his revolution, and one who is trying to at least not threaten his neighbors, one who allows, as the Shah did, as you very well know, who allows some human rights, who allows some political rights, and does allow economic rights, and another regime that allows none. I would say there's no question about which side I come down on there. And the same is true of Somoza, the same is true of some of the others as well. I don't approve of some of them, but I would say I prefer some rights rather than none, and that's the choice that we have to face up to, or the United States is going to cease to be a great power.
There you go, guys. There you go. In case
It was great.
yeah.
これまでの第三次
So that video is
Is that a new one?
available. Well, the Richard Nixon Foundation just posted that a few days ago, but it's on my Iran Revolution website. Sorry, Iran Revolution playlist. I also added the links a few times, but yeah, they posted that video just a few days ago. So
Can I just make a slight correction? I mean, he was like really good. Just one when is that okay?
yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So the part that he says like, oh, the Shah allowed some human rights, I feel like that is I mean, he was allowing more human rights. He was allowing women the right to vote ahead of some European countries.
Yeah.
And we were speed running through our human rights score. Like we were actually progressing when it comes to human rights faster than European countries. It's not the level that you're at, it's the changes that you're making. So I feel like he was just if you say some human rights, it makes it seem like our human rights record was not good, but it was just better than Khomeini. Our human rights record was amazing during the Shah's time. It wasn't just a little bit better than Khomeini. It was amazing.
We had complete and total freedom. It was only the Islamists and the communists that, didn't have freedom, which I'm totally okay with that, right? I'm totally okay with that because it's the Islamists and the communists that ended up destabilizing Iran and turning it into a 7th century Islamic hellhole. So
the Islamists did actually have freedom. It was the communists that didn't have freedom. The Islamists unfortunately has a lot of freedom.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's how dangerous these ideologies are. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because, for us Iranians, like Richard Nixon is a hero. He's a hero. I'm really happy that the Richard Nixon Foundation website posted this video 2 days ago here. So you guys can go look at it. I can't believe it only has 21,000 views. It should be like in the millions. But guys, this is why for us, it's very, very frustrating when we hear these mainstream media outlets, oh, your father was a dictator or authoritarian. Like it's complete and utter nonsense. It was not like that at all whatsoever. And it's just really frustrating to see mainstream media try to like they're basically going with the historical revisionism narrative that's been put out there by the Islamists and the communists, right? But I hope you guys this gives you a better understanding as to why Iranians support King Reza Pahlavi and why we only trust King Reza Pahlavi to transition us from totalitarian Islamic dictatorship into a functioning secular democracy. Thank you for showing this. Carter absolutely backed the wrong horse. Yep, 100%. 100% he did.
Carter thought Khomeini was like Mandela or like Gandhi or something like that.
So stupid.
That's what he thought.
Yeah. Very, very ridiculous. So there you go. All right, guys. Armin, did you have anything you wanted to share before you?
Yep.
No?
Yeah. No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Can I just show something fun then? Just something fun.
Yeah, sure.
A mood booster. I'm not gonna share the music because it's copyrighted. This Iranian girl, she was being attacked on social media. So the caption says, when the username Love Muhammad call me Zionist and a puppet of Israel because I'm standing against the Islamic Republic of Iran. So guys, just imagine the music because the music is really good, but it's copyrighted.
I'll play some music.
Oh, okay.
kind of bitch. That's so rude.
That's it. Go on, keep going.
So rude. All right.
Just had to show that.
I don't approve of the fingers. I don't approve of the fingers.
It was too Islamist.
Still.
Okay.
I think we have to remember what King Reza Pahlavi said a few days ago. Remember?
Okay.
I mean, I listen. I'm just as frustrated, and but you know what? He actually put out a very, very important message, and I just want to replay this again. So, and you know what? I'm actually really grateful that he put out that message to Iranians outside, because I think it's really resonating. It's really, really resonating with Iranians. So I wanna play this message again, because for everyone who's wondering, you know, oh my gosh, like all of these, and we're gonna go to the rallies very soon, because we're starting to get footage of all the various demonstrations coming from around the world. So you know, I'll play those for you when Armin goes. But this is a very, very important message from the king, you know, the leader of our national revolution. And, you know, this is his message to those of us who are outside of occupied Iran, whether, you know, whether we're online, you know, doing, you know, this channel, which, by the way, Armin, you and I both know, guys, we already have confirmation that His Royal Highness and his team do tune into this channel and watch this channel. So there you go. So he's watching all of you and all your comments as well. So, you know, he has a message for those of us who are online, a message for those who are out, you know, demonstrating, and of course, a message for everyone else. And, you know, he makes it very clear, like, the eyes of the world are on us, because we're the ambassadors for people in occupied Iran. And then he also says that he expects us to behave in a way that you know, reaches the level and standard of Iranian culture and ethics. So, but you know what? Once in a while, you know, we'll do something here and there to let off some steam. I'll, you know, close my screen, and you can translate one of those videos. So.
Okay.
But I'll play this because it's really important.
I mean, Princess Pahlavi, he said he likes the rebellious rap songs against Islamic Republic, and they're filled with swear words. So there you go. He said that. He said he likes those.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Also, a lot of people are asking about the Yach video. So I think you might have to translate that again one more time.
Okay.
And then at some point, what I'll do is I'll just take like that part of the video, and I'll just make like a short video, and then you could upload it, and I can upload it, the Yach translation. So
sounds good.
There you
Okay,
go.
let's do that.
And if you guys don't know about the Yach video, you're gonna enjoy it.
ایرانیان عزیز خارج از کشور، راهپیمایی‌های بزرگ و پرشکوه شما در روزهای گذشته در 4 گوشه جهان، از استرالیا تا سراسر اروپا تا کانادا و آمریکا، به هم‌میهنان شجاعمان در میهن اشغال شده نیرو و امید داده است. صدای شما صدای ملت ایران است. سپاسگزار و قدردانتان هستم. امروز در شرایطی که جمهوری اسلامی با کشتار بیرحمانه و حکومت نظامی هزینه حضور مردم در خیابان‌های ایران را بسیار بالا برده، مسئولیت شما در جلب پشتیبانی بین‌المللی برای هم‌میهنانمان سنگین‌تر است. اهمیت نقش شما از هر زمانی بیشتر است. تداوم فعالیت‌های شما لازم و ضروری است. گسترده‌تر، هماهنگ‌تر، منسجم‌تر و هدفمندتر. همانطور که در کنفرانس خبری اخیر در واشنگتن اعلام کردم، ما در این مرحله 6 خواسته مشخص از جامعه جهانی داریم. همه فعالیت‌های ایرانیان خارج از کشور از تجمع و تحصن و راهپیمایی تا گفتگو و نامه‌نگاری با تصمیمگیران و قانونگذاران و تا اطلاع رسانی در رسانه‌ها و شبکه‌های آنلاین میبایست پیرامون این 6 خواسته متمرکز شود. نخست، حفاظت از مردم ایران با تضعیف ماشین سرکوب رژیم، به ویژه از طریق هدف گرفتن سپاه پاسداران، فرماندهان آن، ساختار فرماندهی و زیرساخت‌هایش. دوم، فشار اقتصادی حداکثری با مسدود کردن دارایی‌های رژیم در سراسر جهان و هدف گرفتن شبکه مخفی نفتکش‌های آن موسوم به ناوگان ارواح. سوم، فراهم کردن اینترنت آزاد برای ایران از طریق استارلینک و دیگر ابزارهای ارتباط امن، از کار انداختن توان رژیم برای قطع اینترنت. چهارم، اخراج دیپلمات‌های رژیم و پیگرد قانونی جنایتکاران علیه بشریت. پنجم، آزادی فوری و بی قید و شرط همه زندانیان سیاسی. و ششم، آمادگی برای گذار دموکراتیک در ایران و به رسمیت شناختن دولت انتقالی مشروع. من از همه شما می‌خواهم زیر پرچم شیر و خورشید ایران متحد بمانید. پرچمی که 10,000 ایرانی شجاع جان خود را برای برافراشتن دوباره‌اش فدا کردند. اختلافات شخصی را کنار بگذارید. از موازیکاری و برنامه‌های جداگانه در یک شهر پرهیز کنید. تلاش‌ها را همسو و هماهنگ کنید تا اثرگذارتر باشید. به یاد داشته باشید که شما در چشم جهانیان نمایندگان ملت بزرگ ایران هستید. بنابراین رفتار شما باید شایسته، متمدنانه و در تراز اخلاق و فرهنگ ایرانی باشد. من و تیمم با دقت فعالیت‌های هماهنگ شما را دنبال می‌کنیم و به زودی برنامه‌های مرتبط با روز جهانی اقدام و همبستگی با انقلاب ملی ایران اعلام خواهد شد. نگاه هم‌میهنان شریفمان در ایران که در بند رژیم اشغالگر جمهوری اسلامی هستند به ماست. دست در دست هم بدهیم تا رنجشان زودتر پایان یابد، تا به آزادی و رفاهی که شایسته آن هستند برسند. آن روز از همیشه نزدیکتر است. پاینده ایران.
Such an important message. Such an important message. And I think it's so important that we play that, you know, at least once or twice a day, just to give us all a reminder of what we're fighting for and what our demands are. So there you go. All right. Do you want to bring up the ICE video?
Oh yes, let's do that. Okay. ICE.
And then you know what I'm going to do, Armin? So why don't you post the links as well to your discussion group? Because what I'll do is when you're doing the discussion group, I'll restart the channel, and that way it'll be like a 1 hour music break. And that way, if anyone wants to come join you, they can join you. And then, you know, that way we don't have people like in both streams. So anyone who wants to join the discussion group can, and then, you know, we can, I'll be like gathering more info and stuff. And then when you're done the discussion group, I can continue. And then you can also take a break there too.
Fantastic. All right, let's do ice. No. Yach, baby. Do you want to provide context before I start translating? Because for people who don't know what this is.
This is basically, so this is a crazy guy in Iranian politics. You don't need to know his name or anything, totally irrelevant. He's just a crazy guy, and he likes to think that he's like the real Shah and that he has more credibility. Yeah, like he thinks he's the emperor of Iran, and then he like had this TV show. Yeah, he had this TV show, and he would talk about crazy things. So Yeah.
Yes, he sees himself as he's competing with Princess of Pahlavi. He's like he thinks that people are stupid to follow Princess of Pahlavi. People should be following him because he's a true prince.
Yeah.
Okay, he has king's blood in his veins. Anyways, let's look at his. We covered some of his political views, but let's cover some of his metaphysical views. Okay, so let's switch this.
Should we play it? Should we play the whole thing once and then you go back and translate?
Sounds good. And by the way, a lot of people wanted the video. I'm going to put a link to it in the chat for everybody that kept on asking for it.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, put the link in the chat. Guys, I will translate this as well. So I'm in the process of translating this video and I'll upload it to my
Nice.
YouTube as well with the subtitles as well.
Okay. So let's switch this.
جهان هستی یک بیگ بنگه، یعنی یه خورشیدی وجود داره، یه دریایی وجود داره، اسم این دریا عرشه، اسم اون خورشید اللهه. میخوره به این دریا، حباب تولید میشه. هر حباب بیگ بنگ شروع میشه. یعنی من قراره چاییمو در بیگ بنگ دیگه ای بخورم. اونجا چه شکلی آقا حسینی؟ اونجا خورشید از یخ تولید شده، یعنی نور از یخ میاد بیرون. یعنی کره زمین اونجا نورشو از یخ میگیره. آقای دانشمند، یخ نور تولید میکنه. گیاهان اون کره زمین از یخ کاسبرگاشون تغذیه میکنه. خیلی خوشگله. بعد 4 که تولید میشه، تو اون ثانیه وارد بعد 5 که میشی میبینی چه خبره. اصلا دختراش فرق میکنن، پسراش فرق میکنن. نه عزیزم، انقدر دختر خوشگل در جهان وجود. تو هنوز نمیدونی خورشید از یخ باشه چه دختری تولید میکنه. هنوز نمیدونی. اونجا اصلا همه چیز فرق میکنه.
By the way, we don't pronounce yak like this, okay? So it's just yak. It's not yak. I don't know why he's trying to. I don't know why he's doing that. It's like saying ice, like something like that. Like that's not what it does.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right. So let's go through this and translate this.
جهان هستی یک بیگ بنگه. یعنی
the entire world, the world of reality, is a big bang.
خورشیدی وجود داره، یه دریایی وجود داره.
There's a sun and there's a sea.
اسم این دریا عرشه. اسم اون خورشید اللهه.
The name of the sea is Arsh. The name of the sun is Allah.
میخوره به این دریا، حباب تولید میشه.
So the sun will hit the sea and it causes bubbles. Some bubbles will be produced from this.
هر حباب بیگ بنگ شروع میشه. یعنی
every single one of these bubbles will start a big bang.
من قراره چاییمو در بیگ بنگ دیگه ای بخورم.
That means that I'm about to drink my tea in a different big bang.
چه شکلی آقا حسینی؟ اونجا
So you might ask me, Mr. Hosseini, what is it like over there?
خورشید از یخ تولید شده، یعنی نور از یخ میاد بیرون.
In that world, the sun is made out of ice. That means that light comes out of ice.
کره زمین اونجا نورشو از یخ میگیره.
That means that in that world, the earth of that world will get its light from ice.
آقای دانشمند.
Mr. Scientist, are you paying attention?
یخ نور تولید میکنه.
Ice will create light.
گیاهان اون کره زمین از یخ کاسبرگاشون تغذیه میکنه.
In that world, the plants, the leaves of the plants will receive energy from ice.
خیلی خوشگله.
It's so beautiful.
بعد 4 که تولید میشه، تو اون ثانیه وارد بعد 5 که میشی میبینی چه خبره.
When the fourth dimension is being created, in that second, when you enter the fifth dimension, then you will see what's going on.
اصلا دختراش فرق میکنن، پسراش فرق میکنن.
The boys there are different. The girls there are different. The boys there are different.
نه عزیزم، انقدر دختر خوشگل در جهان وجود. تو هنوز نمیدونی خورشید.
No, my dear. The girls in the world, they're so beautiful. You have no idea.
از یخ باشه چه دختری تولید میکنه.
You have no idea in a world where the energy comes from ice, what kind of a girl that would create.
هنوز نمیدونی. اونجا اصلا همه چیز فرق میکنه.
You have no idea. Over there, everything is different.
You want to show the one of him dancing?
Goldie, I think that he's creating a heaven for his religion using metaphysical. Yeah, I think this is his version of heaven. Like these are the Houris or something. Ice girls is like his if Islam has like Houris that you have 72 angels that you have sex with, he's just creating a version of that with ice boys and girls. I think that's what he's doing.
Do you want to share the one where he's dancing?
Dancing? Yes, let's do that.
So he had like this TV show, and he just like did these crazy rants, and then like here's him dancing.
Yeah. Why is he dancing?
Nimiduna.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Goldie, do you believe that this man actually has people who would die for him? I mean, at least they say that. He has a huge cult. It's a cult following. And if you insult him, your live chat, at least on the Persian channel, will get filled with people who will come and say, restart, restart, restart. And they also say, I'm Persian, not Iranian for some reason. And there are people who say that this is the leader of not just Iran, but the whole world. Like this is the emperor of the world. Like he's connected with like a different reality or something. So, yeah. And yeah.
There you go, guys.
He has this cult following.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I figured we could use a little bit of a what, he's a good mood boost. I'm gonna say he's a good mood boost, as crazy as he is. But you know what makes it so much better is your interpretation. Like when you interpret what he's saying, like you do his actions so well. No, don't do the dance. Don't do the dance. just the ice video, but oh my gosh.
Look at his face right now. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So Armin, I think you have to go because you're starting in 15 minutes. So
okay.
Armin, did you want to put the links in the chat again?
I will do that right now.
Thank you, put the links in the chat, and then guys, I'm gonna leave this the live stream running for like another 5 minutes so that you guys can get the links to the discussion group if you want to go and join Armin. And then in the meantime, I'm just gonna restart the live stream. And it's just gonna be, the Persian vibes and the music for a little bit so that anyone who wants to go to Armin's discussion group can to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. And then we're gonna, restart with the news, and I'm gonna have more updated news for you as well. And we'll see you in about an hour or so.
Sounds good, guys. Link is in the chat. Come meet me there. If you have any questions, I'll be answering you there. And thank you, Goldie. I'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Take care. See you soon.
All right. See you soon.
It's just you and me, guys.
غرق انقلاب است. کشور ما، تاریخ ما در سیدگر فرا گرفته، گویی اهورا مستا دوباره در نور خود مرا گرفته. اکنون سرودی سر میدهم باز فارغ از رنج و تشویش، ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. هن ای پدر هن ای پسر، برخیز و باماش و همگام، تا درد آن تجربه تلخ ما را نکشیده در خواب. بگذار هر دم بغرند گرگ‌ها دم لباس میش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ای کارگر ای برزگر، راحت قانون ادامه دارد در این زمان که پرتو یزدان از هر سو بر تو میبارد. پس پیش به سوی آزادی از بحر خزر تا کیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. در دفاع از استقلال و آزادی تا بشکنیم پشت ارتجاع تیریزی ویران آبادی تا زنده سازیم سنت‌های می از بربالین و کیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش
با امید روزی که تمام این دلبشو و انقلاب تموم بشه و ما در روشنایی، نور و سعادت مردم کشورمون غرق بشیم.
نه خارجی نه بیگانه نه مستشارهای ویرانی نه چیر خاران نه کاسلیسان فقط هم رزمان ایرانی با شرافت میهنی بسازی بهر فرزندان خویش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش مردان بیایید داخل صف ما اکنون که آغاز رویاست دشمنان بدانید ما زنده هستیم بعد از ما هم ایران پابرجاست آن روح شیطان ما را فریب داد با صد شعار مردمیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش پرچم ما پرچم ایران غرق خون شهیدان روی شانه هامان هم میکنیمش در هر خیابان و میدان تا ماسک دلغکان را برداریم از روی تسبیح و ریش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش